Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me? I'm basically asleep, to be honest. I stupidly agreed to take my son to the airport at 3:30 this morning, and boy, am I regretting it now. Anyway, a couple of things happened in the aftermath of yesterday's discussion about MVQ assessments, the cost of training, and the double standards operated within the demolition and construction industries. The first is that we heard back indirectly from Martin Raw, the man who was bemoaning the fact that 5 of his bricklayers were expected to undergo a 6-week assessment to obtain an MVQ to prove that they can do the very thing they've been doing for the past 3 decades. Martin says, and I quote, "They are all self-employed subcontractors, so they would be paying for the assessment themselves, and they have been quoted £1,000 each for the 6-week course." Yep, that's exactly what I wanted to do. That's exactly what I would do if I wanted to rid the industry of those pesky, experienced bricklayers. Compounding the inefficiencies of the powers that be, last week, I spoke to someone at Construction Line about the CMA investigation into bid rigging. I asked what I thought was a pretty reasonable and straightforward question. What is Construction Line's stance on anti-competitive practices, and will those that have admitted involvement in the bid rigging lose their Construction Line accreditation? That question was passed up the line on Friday. I've called them again this morning. I've been told to expect a response today. I won't be holding my breath. But you would have thought in this day and age, organisations like Construction Line and Build UK that have ISO accreditations up the wazoo would have their stance on anti-competitive practices cast in stone and on display for all to see. Apparently not. The other thing that happened yesterday was over on LinkedIn. An individual from the NFTC left a comment on yesterday's show. I didn't read it. I deleted it. As far as I'm concerned, all the while they continue to welcome and support those that have admitted involvement in bid rigging, their opinion is of no value. Through their inaction, they have, in my opinion at least, surrendered the right to speak for the demolition industry, and the industry discourse will just have to continue without them. Now, without further ado, we'll get to the show in a second. Without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Tuesday, the 9th of August, and as that remarkably persistent and half asleep guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Volvo delivers on its promise of a fossil-free steel hauler. Caterpillar widens its jaws. We take a sneak peek at a new Chinese-built compact wheel loader. Yes, another one. At Demolition Contractors in Yorkshire, we have a hot new project lead for you. Plus, in a Breakfast Show exclusive, we will bring you the Acco Super Dozer, the giant that never was. We'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And its many happy returns to one of the all-time greats of tennis, Rod Laver, and to one of the great heavyweights of the great boxing heavyweights as well, Mr. Ken Norton. Happy birthday also to the man who created Trivial Pursuit, Chris Haney, actress Melanie Griffith, and to singing sensation Whitney Houston, to actor Eric Bana, to that close personal friend of Hugh Grant, Divine Brown, and to footballer Mikhail Silvestre. Many happy returns to them, one and all. If you were here about 9 months ago, and I know many of you were, you might recall that we brought you news of the world's first vehicle manufactured using fossil-free steel. The vehicle in question was a Volvo autonomous hauler that had been developed in conjunction with Swedish steel producer SSAB. Now, I've got to be honest, while I was impressed by Volvo taking such a stance and reducing the environmental impact of its equipment even before it's left the factory, I kind of assumed this was like one of those concept cars that they rolled out at the Geneva Motor Show. It looks cool, but it's never likely to see the light of day. I really should know Volvo better, shouldn't I? Not only has the company now used fossil-free steel in the manufacture of an articulated dump truck, that machine is now out and at work with an actual paying customer. And this is what it looks like.
My name is Roger Sandberg. I work as a commodity manager within purchasing Volvo CE Europe. I'm very pleased and proud standing in front of this unique A30G machine. This is the first ever vehicle produced in fossil-free steel and to be delivered to an end customer. Addressing climate changes is the most important task we have, and Volvo Group is determined to drive this transformation and not only talk about what we should do in the future. We want to act here and now and bringing a first fossil-free vehicle to a customer. This A30G has been built in normal processes at the Volvo CE site in Borås, Sweden, which actually was one of the first carbon-neutral production sites in the world. This unique A30G is produced by a fossil-free steel from SSAB, a company that shares our commitment to sustainability goals of Paris Agreement. Why is it important with fossil-free steel, you may ask? Steel in various shapes is surrounding us, and it's also important material for building our Volvo vehicles. Steel is a strong material and very suitable for recycling, but it's also a fact that steelmaking is a main contributor of global CO2 emissions. And to produce 1 ton of steel with traditional processes, it brings typically 2 tons of CO2 emission. For this reason, steel is also the main contributor for CO2 emission when producing a Volvo vehicle. But by using fossil-free steel in our vehicles, we will reduce carbon footprint a lot. Volvo Group has collaborated with SSAB on fossil-free steel since end 2020, and this partnership will enable us to start replacing traditional steel with fossil-free steel. And experience from this machine will support us when we ramp up to large-scale usage of fossil-free steel. This machine will be delivered to NCC, one of the leading construction companies in the Nordics and certified according Planet Mark. With speed and real-world solutions, we are moving from words to action, leading to this result. First vehicle ever, produced with fossil-free steel and delivered to a customer. What we have accomplished here is proving what we, within a short timeline, can achieve when we work cross-functional and in strong partnerships. This is an important step towards building the world we want to live in.
Now, while I was on the Volvo Construction Equipment YouTube channel yesterday, I spotted a familiar face. Mine. Along with several other influencer types, my trip to Eskilstuna, the land of Volvo, a few months ago, was captured on camera. If you'd like to take a look, you can find the video in question using the link that I've just posted in the chat. I have no idea why they used my face for that video thumbnail, but I'm flattered nonetheless. And if you do take a look, you might also see this guy.
Hi guys, I'm Martin and Norwegian Earth Mover. Remember to watch the Break Fast show.
Now, just before we move on with the next part of the show, we've had a comment from, let's have a look, from Scott Archie McConnell. Name them and kick them out of the NFDC. There are two parts to that, Scott, or Archie, or one of those. First is naming them. There is no need to name them. They've been named, but I will recap anyway. The companies named are Brown & Mason, Cantillon, Clifford Devlin, DSM, John F. Hunt, Keltbray, McGee, and Scudder. In addition to those, those have all admitted their involvement, but there are two others, Erith Group and Squibb Group, that have not admitted their involvement. As I say, there are two parts to our friend Scott's comment there. Name them, which I just did, kick them out of the NFDC. Unfortunately, beyond my powers, Scott. I personally believe you're absolutely right. But hey, what do I know? Now, let's get back to the show in question. We've just been to Sweden. It's time to go to China after this. I'm starting to believe that I will never actually get to know all of the Chinese manufacturers of construction equipment. As soon as I think I've got them all committed to memory, another one crawls out of the woodwork. And in this instance, it's a company called Everrun. I think we've featured them once before, actually. And the machine in question this time is a compact wheel loader. Anybody else watch that and think that the wheelbase was too short? Or is it just me? And quite why they chose to speed up the film, frankly, is anyone's guess. I did check earlier to see if Everrun were going to be at the Balmer show in October, but as far as I can tell, they are not. So for now, at least, I will just have to watch them from afar. Just a quick one for you. Caterpillar has dropped a new film featuring the Demolition jaw for its range of multi-processors. The winner of the Demolition project I'm about to tell you about may well need one of those.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Now then, demolition contractors within easy reach of West Yorkshire. Lend me your ears, because this one is for you. £1.5 million of your finest English quids have been set aside for the extension of an industrial unit at the Parkwood Boiler Works on Parkwood Road in Keighley. Skipton Bay Sutcliffe Construction has been given the green light on the new build element of the works, but before any construction can commence, 3 existing industrial buildings require the very special skills of a demolition contractor, and at the time of broadcast, a suitable demolition contractor has yet to be appointed. You can find out more about this project lead and countless more just like it over at buildersconference.co.uk. Alternatively, you can speak directly to Siobhan Jones using the number displayed at the foot of your screen. She is standing by to take your call. So, a few weeks ago on this show, we got into a conversation about the biggest dozer in the world. Or more correctly, we got into a conversation about which dozer actually was the biggest. The Komatsu D575 has a claim to the crown, and some of those machines are now out there in the world, should I say, hard at work. But there was another, even bigger dozer. It is almost the stuff of legends because although it was built probably at enormous expense, it never turned a track in anger. So after some digging around, we have pulled together the following film on the giant that never was. So tissues at the ready, here goes. The Acco Super Dozer is the largest and most powerful track dozer ever made. It was built in northern Italy by the Umberto Acco company. The Acco Super Dozer was constructed mainly using Caterpillar parts. However, many other components were specially adapted. The dozer blade, for example, is bigger than anything Caterpillar has ever made. The dozer had a gross weight of 183 tonnes and was powered by not one but 2 Caterpillar diesel engines that produced a combined output of 1010 kilowatts. The machine's blade was 7 metres wide and 2.7 metres tall. The total length of the dozer was over 12 metres from the tip of the blade to the ripper on the rear, and that ripper alone stood more than 3 metres tall. The dozer was initially built to be exported to Libya in the early 1980s to help in land development works. As the leader of Libya, Colonel Gaddafi, was heavily involved in international terrorism at that time, the United States imposed a trade embargo on that country in 1986. As a direct consequence of these trade restrictions, the completed Acco dozer was never shipped to its intended destination. The dozer was never put to any operational use and was put into storage where it was built. Acco ceased to exist when both Umberto Eco, the founder, and soon after his son, both died. They left no legacy to the management of the Acco company. The factory slowly turned into a dump yard of any kind of earth-moving machinery, including both the super dozer and its brother, a 200-ton super grader. By the end of May 2012, the dozer had been moved away from the abandoned Acco facility and was now safely stored at a local gardening company in the same town to be preserved and eventually put on display. The Acco Super Dozer moved under its own power onto the trailer that took it to its new resting place. But this is what the Super Dozer looked like. Brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it?
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today and to discuss machines that we knew and loved and that are no longer with us. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this.